Veterans PTSD crisis. Judge O'Donnell demands treatment as jail time hits 288 days. In a tearless cry for help case, a military veteran with clear PTSD jailed for 288 days over criminal actions against neighbors faces a critical ultimatum from Judge O'Donnell, refusing medication and treatment. The defendant leans solely on his support dog, but the judge warns that without proper intervention, he risks harming himself or others. With tensions high and the veteran's future on the line, will the treatment prevail or will his defiance lead to harsher consequences? Tune in for this emotional legal showdown. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and like this video as we will keep providing videos on this channel.
What's the problem with the problems that you have with your neighbors?
Myself, Your Honor, I currently do not have any issues with my neighbors. I'm not sure exactly what their grievance is with myself or my dog. I've been there from the time of 2023, September, I think. From that time, they've invited me a number of times, either next door, across the street, or down the road. Not every time I have made my way around, though I have introduced and spoke to some of the people that live on the street. I don't believe I really talked to anyone except for the people next door on either side for the first 12 months I was in that neighborhood. Now, as far as the neighbors with the grievances, I've never, from the video, I've never even introduced myself to them, or they have never introduced themselves to me as well, other than the woman in the video, or the two next door. So, with whatever was said, or whatever grievance they may have with me being in the neighborhood and living in my house, under my roof, in my own space, if that's too close to them, by all means, let me know. I can move. I can turn that house into a field if I like.
Into a what?
I can turn it into a field if I like.
What does that mean?
I own that house.
What do you mean you could turn it into a field?
I'll tear it down, turn it into a field, right there next door. I have not trespassed any of them. I've not crossed onto their properties without permission. I've only helped. I've provided a neighbor with a shed that I was discarding. Fixed a fence that was a tree had fallen on. Cleared some debris and some brush down the road for a neighbor so that he could fix his hunting stand behind his house. Fixed some water issues, drainage from the properties out to the street. Cleared driveways in the wintertime for snow and so people could get to work.
When is the last time you were involved with the VA?
With the VA, I recently stopped out there to have 17 staples removed from the top of my head as I was struck head on by a vehicle while riding my motorcycle. In my own lane, doing the speed limit, minding my own business.
What before that? When was the last time before that that you were at the VA?
Approximately 2 years prior.
All right. And Why did you stop going there?
The environment itself, and my conversations with Greenside Corpsman, prior Greenside Corpsman, who's now a provider, well, a mental health provider out there, Jason Blake. We spoke many times, and it no longer felt necessary that I had to visit, though
Who
Still-
thought it was not necessary?
the mental health provider
Okay.
at the VA itself. Though he left an open door policy if I needed to at any point in time, I have his number and I can go back and I can speak with him.
When's the last time you were prescribed mental health medication?
When, at the time I was placed in a hospital facility after being confined in jail for the competency evaluation to stand trial.
Okay, what were you prescribed?
It was Haldol.
Okay. When's the last time you took that?
Shortly thereafter, released from that facility.
Okay. What is your mental health diagnosis?
My mental health diagnosis is through the Department of the Navy.
And what did they diagnose you with?
They diagnosed me with a post-traumatic stress disorder due to, I guess, stresses of the job.
Anything
Stresses
else?
from overseas deployments.
Any other diagnoses?
There was one of a paranoid schizophrenia. However, it's, I mean, at the time that they made that diagnosis, the Navy was administering medication, which I was having adverse effects to.
Do you believe that there's any mental health medication, prescription medication that would benefit you?
I do not personally take medication. I haven't from the time I was a child. I mean, obviously, immunizations, vaccines, stuff like that. However, when it comes to medication or even pain medication, stuff like that, I stay away from it completely.
Okay, then.
Just because I've seen the effects of it over long term with family. I have a handicapped mother myself, and I've seen the tolls that it has taken on her health and everything else over time, and therefore I choose, for my personal well-being and under my own consciousness, not to take medications. I recently was in a motorcycle accident where I broke my neck. I did not even take Tylenol.
Well, how do you then treat your post-traumatic stress disorder?
I have a dog, which I spend quite a bit of time with.
Is that the
She's
extent, is that
very
the
well-
extent that you need?
It's companionship.
I understand that, but do you need any treatment beyond your dog?
I do not believe that I do.
Okay. Well, your actions that were the result of the criminal charges in this trial indicate to me that you do. Okay,
Are you a
because-
medical officer?
What?
Are you a medical officer?
Listen.
Do you have a medical degree?
Listen to me, okay? Have a seat. Have a seat.
Yes, Your Honor.
Stay right there. We're not in a question and answer period here, okay?
I'm not trying to.
All rise.
Now, your actions that resulted in these charges indicate, and I've been involved with you for a few years now, indicate to me that you need treatment for your mental health condition beyond having a dog. That's what your actions indicate to me. So if I order you to obtain that treatment, are you going to comply?
I follow the orders.
Okay. Mr. Downing?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is a joint recommendation for community control. Defer to the court for any other specific sanctions.
All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report and the past reports. And I have considered what Mr. Young has had to say, what counsel has had to say. I'll place you on community control for 5 years. You've served on this case 280 days in jail already. So you're going to serve 280 with credit for 280. You're going to re-engage the Veterans Administration Hospital for mental health treatment and fully comply, including following all their recommendations, including recommendations with regard to medication. You're to utilize only one doctor and one dentist and one pharmacy. Take your medication as prescribed and sign releases. And you'll pay the costs and supervision fees. Anything else, Ms. Newman?
No, Your Honor.
And at some point, I'm going to have you back here for a review hearing to assess the level of your cooperation in following the orders. Do you understand the terms?
I understand, Your Honor.
Do you have any question about the terms?
Not at this time.
All right, if you fail to comply with the terms, then the state will file a motion to terminate your community control, and if I find you violated, then you face 30 months in prison. You understand that?
I understand, Your Honor.
Is your, does your house have all the utilities currently running?
Currently unaffordable.
Let's see, what don't you have?
I have a gas oven, gas stove.
Is your gas hooked up?
I have it available on
Is
the
it-
property. It's hooked up to the house.
Okay, do you have service? If you turn on your gas stove, is gas gonna come out?
It
Or is
does.
it cut off?
It does.
Do you have electricity?
There's power. There's light.
Do you have water and sewer?
There's water and sewer.
Right. Now, this case goes back to December of '23. Now we're in April of '25. So, mainly because of competency issues. So, your treatment and your management of your mental health conditions hasn't been successful in the last year and a half. Has it?
There's been No treatment as far as mental health
Right, that's what I
within the
mean.
last year and a half.
Okay, this hasn't been managed very well by you in the last year and a half, has it?
I haven't been the one managing it in the first place.
Okay, who managed it in the last year and a half?
Was court ordered as
Right.
far as through the court of common pleas with Judge Russo? Was it Russo? Rupel? And
Cuyahoga County,
that was right here.
Aruba.
And that was placed at
North Coast?
Twin Valley.
Okay.
North Coast was
So-
prior.
All right, so you haven't been mental health-wise very stable in the last year and a half, have you?
I have.
No, you haven't. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been sending you back and forth to get you competent, and you wouldn't have been throwing a dead Christmas tree at the front door of the courthouse either, okay? So it isn't going well.
Disagree with that.
So that's why I'm issuing the orders I'm issuing,
Understood, Your Honor.
okay? Anything else, Mr. Downing?
PRC and abstinence or anything related to drugs or alcohol.
Oh, yeah, one of the conditions is no drugs or alcohol. You understand that?
understand, Your Honor.
Except for prescription drugs. So no illicit drugs and no alcohol.
Has never been a problem in the first place.
Okay, well, then it shouldn't be a problem complying, right?
It will not be.
And you'll have screens on a regular basis. And at some point, like I said, I'm gonna issue another hearing notice to come back to check on your compliance. Anything else, Mr. Parrish?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
I don't think I need to advise him of the PRC stuff until I sentence him, unless I sentence him. All right, that's it.
Thank you.
All rise.